So we're driven by desires. We're driven by urges. We're driven by instincts. We're driven by so many things. And until we start to create self-awareness and understand that one of our responsibilities is to learn discipline, is to learn limits, is to learn how to control this physical body from just like, as a man, what do we want to do all day? We want to eat, fuck, and sleep and smoke and drink and rinse and repeat, man.
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back. Look at this familiar, would I say comfortable face? Look at this. Look at this guy. We got Mr. Omar Pinto in the house. How are you doing, sir?
Amazing. Thank you for having me again, Austin. I'm excited to be here. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. So I told you it was business idea, business problem, personal problem, and you said, I got it. So what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about alcohol.
Oof, God. See, guys, this is why I don't do this. I don't know this is fucking coming. I've been meeting since 7 a.m. He's my last call of the day, and this SOB goes, we're gonna talk about alcohol. We're gonna make you cry and talk about your feelings. Get after it. Let's go. Here I am talking about marketing and different stuff all day. This guy's like, no, let's talk about your past. Come on, sit down.
Let's talk about some alcohol.
What in particular about alcohol?
Well, so I spent most of my story. If for those of you that, if you do a little research on me, you'll find my first podcast, which that podcast went on for about 5 years. Okay, so I had a podcast that I launched in 2015 called Sharing Helps Addicts in Recovery. So I had gotten sober in 2003 and remained sober for 17 years until I started working with plant medicine. Mm-hmm. And since technically you're not sober when you're doing plant medicine, and I didn't want to conflict with what I had, with what I've known about the program, which is they're pretty sticklers about no mood or mind altering substances, right? But I knew that there was something missing in my life. And as soon as I did plant medicine, I realized what it was. Plant medicine was missing in my life. Anyhow, as I started to dive into the plant medicine space, I started to feel the healing that happened in that first year. I did 12 ayahuasca ceremonies in 2020, and my life just catapulted in ways that I can't even express. Now, one of the things that came up in one of my ceremonies is that to release the labels. Okay, I'm a recovering addict. I'm an addict. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a son. I'm a good son. I'm a bad son. All of these different labels, and the medicine was like, you need to remove all the labels. No more labels. Okay, like you're only a coach so that you can identify yourself and people can find you, but you're not even a coach. Okay, like release all the labels. You are just you. You are just you. You're not an addict. You're not get over that stuff. Now, when an addict hears that, what might be his first reaction?
I mean, I'm over here already ready to cry. So, I don't know, really, it's debatable,
Maybe I can drink again.
Okay.
Oh, if I'm not an addict, if I'm not an alcoholic, then maybe I can drink like normal people. Maybe I can yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Maybe,
Yeah.
And so I gave myself permission to start drinking December of 2021.
Okay.
So 21, that was the end of 21. So let's just say 22, 23, 24. Okay, so a solid 3 years where I allowed myself to indulge in alcohol. My wife freaked out. Okay, like she was terrified of what the potential consequences could be for me picking up a drink again. So anyway, throughout those 3 years, okay, like there was moments where we'd go out to dinner, we'd go out to eat, I'd have a couple of glasses of wine, we'd come home, no problem. A few nights that I'd go out with my boys and I'd go to my buddy's house, it would be absolute mayhem. No idea how many drinks I had, how much. What's that?
Which I've been to, and you didn't stand a chance. Your buddy's houses. I've been with you. You did not stand a chance. There was no chance.
No chance. No chance. No chance.
Those mother effers? Yeah, no.
Okay. So it's we're getting serious. Okay. Okay, let's go. All right. Now, a few of those nights, man, were blackout nights, were drive home drunk nights, offending the people that are the closest to me nights. Okay. So I had a few of these where something took over me. Okay. The best way I to describe it is, alcohol or alcohol is really referencing to spirits. That's why they call alcohol spirits, because when you consume these spirits, when you consume this alcohol, it can take possession of the vessel while the alcohol is in the system. And it's the best way that I describe the person that I become once I lose count of the amount of drinks I've had. I become a person that I do not like. I am not proud of. I love him. I'm saying it on camera because he's my shadow side, and I love him and I appreciate him. And I know that he just wants the best for me, and he wants me to shine, and he wants me to be center stage, and he wants a lot of things, right? But it just comes out horrible. Comes out mean. It comes out crass, comes out rude. And, I remember a few nights the next morning, I didn't know what happened. And so I called my buddies, but I had a sense that something was wrong. And I'd be like, hey man, so yeah, a lot of fun last night. And I'm waiting. Yeah, it was a good time last night. And I'm waiting for, dude, what's wrong with you? Right. And I had a few of those. It's like, hey man, I got to talk to you about what happened last night. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. So I'm slowly becoming that version of myself that quit drinking, over 20 years ago. Right? And so anyway, I had this incredible, powerful ayahuasca journey in October of last year. And Mama Ayahuasca put a hurting on me, man. She put a hurting on me. For those of you that know, ayahuasca is a plant medicine. Well, I can't imagine anyone here not knowing or have heard the name or term ayahuasca. Anyway, for those of you who haven't done it, when you're under the influence of that medicine, she speaks to you. She talks to you. And sometimes it's lovingly and beautiful, and sometimes she will get deep in your ass. And she was not having it. She's like, look, when I told you to release the labels, it didn't mean that alcohol was good for you. In no way, shape, or form is alcohol. Plant medicine, no problem. No problem. If you want to do cannabis, if you want to do ayahuasca, if you want to do mushrooms, all these things, that's all plant medicine. That's for ways for you to connect spiritually if you're doing it with the right intention. Alcohol, there is no ceremony for alcohol. It's poison. Okay? And I want you to stop. Battled it. We went into a battle. I said, nope, I'm not giving it up. Right? It's right there in that moment where in that moment, it should have been very much clear that the dark side had me hard, because the dark side had me in an ayahuasca ceremony and still would not let go. And it's like, no, 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 I can stop. No, 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 this is my right. I'm throwing a tantrum. Anyway, we finally negotiated. And I said, okay, I'm going to drink responsibly. 2 drinks. That's it. No more, and then I'm done. She finally let go. She's like, okay, we'll see. Right? We'll see how that happens. And she's like, I don't need ceremony to come get you. Okay? So you break your promise to me and I will come get you. Right? And I was like, oh my God. Right? So anyway, leave the ceremony. But one of the things that she did instill in me, and this is the thing that I share with all my clients now. I share it from the rooftops everywhere now. She says, you need to develop a morning meditation practice. You need to connect. You need a prayer and meditation practice. Create it your own, whatever that looks like. But you need to devote time every morning to yourself and to God to connect so that you don't run out into the world unprotected and unguided. Okay? And I said, I can do that. That one I can do. Okay? So it was almost tricky because she's been telling me about meditation for years. I've done 35 ceremonies of ayahuasca, and I can't tell you how many she's like tried to get me to meditate. That's the keys to the kingdom. For those of you that are listening, meditation is, bar none, next to ayahuasca, the most life-changing medicine for me. Daily meditation and prayer. Okay. And maybe a little bit of reading, walking out in nature. I have a very hour-and-a-half routine every morning that I committed to, and it has changed my life. Well, speaking of that meditation practice, as we cross over into 2025, and I'm praying and meditating since October 5th of 2024, there's an undeniable shift in my energy. I'm softer, more peaceful, more calm. That edginess is gone. The grouchy, grumpy old man that complains and talks shit, he's kind of like softened up, and he's more positive and he's more open. My interactions with my clients, my interactions with my wife, my interactions with my friends, things are just changing like crazy. And I was like, this meditation stuff, like, this is the only thing I can put my finger on. Like, I feel different. It's just a noticeable difference. And around that time, I really start asking myself, what am I drinking? Why am I drinking? Like, all of a sudden, I just even started questioning myself. What's the benefit in this? And I couldn't find one, Austin. I couldn't find one benefit. Oh, it's just one beer. Oh, one beer will throw off a night of sleep, will have you feeling like crap the next morning, will have you like one beer. And so it was around my daughter's birthday, February 26th. Not around, it was on my daughter's birthday. I called her on February 26th and I said, honey, what are you doing tonight? Happy birthday, 22. What are you and your boyfriend going to do? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know, Dad. We might go out to dinner. We might just stay home for dinner. I don't know. You know, it's him and me. We don't party, you know? And I go, oh, a couple drinks. What are you going to do? You're 22? She's like, maybe. I don't know. It's like, alcohol just throws off all my numbers, Dad. Okay. And I was like, throws off all your numbers? She's like, yeah, she's got one of those Oura rings or whatever that stuff, and she knows her sleep patterns. She knows her, you know, like her REM sleep. She's like all the calories, everything. Like, she goes, I just have one glass of wine, throws off all my numbers. It's poison, Dad. My 22-year-old daughter, it landed on me like a ton of bricks. I was like, how is it that she's the one coaching me right here? I felt it, you know, like she was just having a conversation. But I said, honey, you're absolutely right. You're 100% right. One drink and I'm screwed. Like, the next day it's horrible. So the next night I went out with some buddies of mine. Sit down. They've already got the glass of wine out, blah, blah, blah. Omar, yeah. Glass of wine. Club soda with lemon, please. What? No wine? No, man, I'm cool. I'm going to take a little break from alcohol. That was how I started. So my ego could feel like, Like, we might drink again. Okay. Anyway, things started to shift immediately. The next day, I woke up thinking about how I didn't drink the night before, and I just felt so good. I felt good about myself. I felt proud of myself. I felt like, what the fuck am I doing? This is poison. So a month later, on my wife and I anniversary, we're at the beach celebrating our 11-year anniversary. I'm still not drinking, and we go out to lunch on one of the days, and we're sitting in a sports bar. We're sitting in a sports bar having lunch, and I look at my wife and I go, all right, I don't want you to hold me to this, but I want to say it out loud. Is that okay? She's like, go ahead. And I said, I think I might be done with drinking for life, for good. And as soon as I said those words, Austin, and I'm feeling it right now, like all of a sudden I'm feeling it, I broke down. All I said was those words. I said, I think I'm done drinking. And I mean, the tears just came down. But I mean, I was shaking viscerally, and I could hear a voice inside of me saying, thank you. Thank you for stopping poisoning us. That was it, man. So I've got two very important dates. February 26, 25, my daughter's birthday, where I made I'm going to take a break from alcohol, to February, March 15th. No, it was 2 months later. No, a month later. Yeah, February, March. March 15th, on my anniversary with my wife, and I have this like immediate, like visceral response to the truth, which is, Austin, I'm done with alcohol, like for life. I'm done. I'm never putting that poison in my body ever again. And so this is where I'm not struggling with it now. And what's my personal problem? But I feel like it's important to share. This is early. This is February 26th is when I made the commitment, and it's still new. But at the same time, from my heart, from my soul, it feels this is the commitment that I'm ready to make. That's where I'm at.
So I'm reminded of a book called Outwitting the Devil. It's one of my favorite books, and he talks about how the devil's not inside you, the devil's in a community, right? It's not a singular person, right? Alcohol is not a singular thing that's in people. It's in a society. And it lives among us worse than anything else, because it's excused upon, it's used upon for behavior. It's in your face. I always tell this story. I rented a Airstream in San Diego from a guy who was a heroin addict who was sober. And we were talking about our sobriety. And he walked up and he shook my hand. And he said, I have more respect for you than I do for myself quitting. And I said, what are you talking about? I said, you broke heroin. He goes, yeah, but alcohol is everywhere. What you did was harder.
Everywhere.
And it's so ingrained in what we do.
Yes.
And it's so, I'll tell my joke. I've told it 65 times, but I'll tell it to you again because I think it's the funniest thing in the world. So if we were at a business meeting and there was 12 people around the business table and I busted out an 8-ball of cocaine and I did it, they would be like, Austin Linney is out of control. If that same guy drank a 12-pack of beer, they'd be like, oh, he just likes IPAs.
Amen. Amen. It is completely normal. Every series I watch, every TV show, every TV series I watch, people are drinking beers on every episode. It is just they're smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol, man. The cigarette business and the alcohol business is alive and well and thriving.
And it's not like we're, look, I sold it for 20 years. You can do whatever you want. I'm not here to judge you or not. But what I hope your takeaway from this is maybe think about it. Like, that's all I ask. maybe, cut back, maybe, remove it and just see how you feel. For me, everybody, they ask me, they say, when do you think, if you ever again? I said, no, I'm good. Like, for me, the pros don't come anywhere. The cons and pros just don't line up for me personally. Not to mention Cassie just wouldn't have it, but that's neither here nor there. But I think that I refuse to do anything that's going to hold me back from being who I'm truly meant to be.
Amen.
And alcohol was my crutch to mediocrity.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Brutal. Yes. Or worse.
Frankly, worse.
Best case scenario is, when you get dragged down by the alcohol, mediocrity is a welcome, right?
That's the bar, baby.
Okay, like I realized something very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized something very important in the process. Like today, now when I have the conversation, and me over there, if I'm being 100% honest with myself, which I was not, obviously, I don't want 2 drinks, Austin, ever. I don't want 2 drinks. I don't want 3 drinks. I want 30.
Yeah, I want the bottle.
I want to be annihilated. I want to be drinking the entire night and just fueling
I was great on cocaine. I don't think people understand how good I was. Like, I was good, man. I was straight. Like, you want to talk about solve the world's problems on meth? Oh, dude, I could instruct an entire army. I was Napoleon on meth. I could fucking, dude. It's I like a good messed up Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't, right?
Who doesn't? Yeah.
And so you say to yourself something very simple. You say, I deserve it. I do so much for other people. I deserve it. And what I realized, and you've realized because you've helped so many people, is that the pain I felt as an unseen child was the reason I drank.
Yes.
It wasn't the alcohol. It was, if I mess myself up enough, I don't have to think about the things that I'm doing. But also, if I get messed up, I'm the life of the party. For me, really what was the downfall where I started realizing there was a real problem was I would be at work all day, and then I was the life of the party, so I would have to drink vodka and Red Bulls to be up, but then I would black out. And then you don't remember. And so you're trying. So how many false narratives and false masks are you wearing in that exact situation? Probably like 15.
Easily, and they're nasty masks. They look kind of like this. That's the mask I was wearing when I was drinking. It was nasty. That version of myself. When I was drinking, when I'd be like 10 drinks in, man, I was never the life of the party anymore. Okay, I was that guy.
You were the life of the party, but it was your own party of misery. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, right? I play golf, and there's a kind of unspoken rule in golf. Like, if you smoke just the right amount of weed and you drink just the right amount of drink, you're in the zone, right? Like, you're playing golf, you're free. The problem with Americans and everybody in general is that we never know how to stick at the middle.
We go right past it.
And so, for me, like, what I try to tell people is like, and I try to tell myself is like, your kind of gift in the world is to help others and step in and give people confidence and everything. And like, does alcohol give you the ability to do those things? No, it doesn't. Cool. Okay, great. Non-negotiable. Well, here's the problem. I had to relearn everything in my life. And honestly, the trip I took down to Costa Rica and didn't drink for 7 days was my Mount Everest, because I only knew how to vacation with booze. I only knew how to celebrate with booze. And I'll be frank, now that I'm thinking about it, because I haven't really thought about it in a long time, I think I think I derived. This is a revelation. I think I derived a lot of my joy from the booze, and now I don't know how to be joyful sometimes in the act of the thing I used to do with booze. That's a holy if.
Breathe into that one, brother.
Wow, that explains so much.
That explains a lot. That's mic drop. What do you want to do with that?
Yeah. I mean, I just realized something when I was hiking this weekend. It's like all the stresses in my life are me. like here let me give you an example to like articulate it simply. With proper communication and dialogue and being upfront, everything's solvable. So you're creating, this like chaos storm for nothing that matters about anything.
That's what we do. We do until we learn. I mean, and again, the way I look at life, the way I look at this journey is that there's no mistakes and there's no failures unless you just don't try. I mean, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to come across, this physical incarnation that we come in is really, if there's no brain animals have brains. If there's no consciousness, if there's no self-will or self-awareness, this is just an animal. This vessel right here is an animal. And the easiest way to even understand that is when you think about the criminal element. You think about criminals and how they're raised and the environments that they're raised. They're not born criminals. They're raised criminals. They become criminals. They become dangerous killers and murderers and drug dealers and violent offenders. They become that. Why? Because this physical incarnation has the capacity to do that, right? So we're driven by desires. We're driven by urges. We're driven by instincts. We're driven by so many things. And until we start to create self-awareness and understand that one of our responsibilities is to learn discipline, is to learn limits, is to learn how to control this physical body from just like, as a man, what do we want to do all day? We want to eat, fuck, and sleep and smoke and drink and rinse and repeat, man. I mean, I remember my 20s. Omar, what do you want to do when you grow up? Man, I want to be a multi-millionaire, living in a mansion, driving a Ferrari with 6 girlfriends. Shocker. There's your big
sounds
dream.
Exhausting. Yeah. Sounds exhausting.
At the time, it didn't sound exhausting. It sounded like the dream. It sounded like Mecca to me, man. You know what I mean? Like, married and children? What a fucking loser. Pathetic. Why would you want to get married and have kids? Ugh. What are you done fucking? You know what I mean? It's like, that's 20s. That's in your 20s, man. And this animal soul is just running the show, running around just, what can I do? Who can I take from? How much money can I make? Self-seeking, everything, right? You're just a self-serve machine. And then as you get older, and man, all of that just collapses on top of you. All the drugs and the indulgences and the promiscuity, all of it just kind of comes crumbling down on top of you, crashes. Okay, that's what happened to me at 29. It all came tumbling down on me. Lost everything, my business, my marriage, my everything, man, my friends, just a 0 going in another direction. And so I had to learn that just by saying yes to me, because I'm so cool and I can do whatever I want. Nobody tells me what to do, right? It's like, oh, okay, sure. You go right ahead. Just go right ahead. You go walk right into that minefield. Okay. And so ultimately what has come out of all this is like, I have to train this thing. I have to control this thing and I have to control this thing, and I need help and I need guidance and I need real masculine guidance, which I did not get as a child. I did not have, a sufficient masculine influence in my life that was going to help guide me and sit down with me, explain about alcohol, and explain about sex, and explain about promiscuity, and explain about energy and things of that nature. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any of that when I was growing up. I had to figure it out all on my own.